Welcome back to my channel. My name is Audrey Atuka. I have a great video for you guys today. I did a collaboration with a fellow YouTuber. Her name is ILMEMEME. Actually, it's just 3 me's. But her name is Miss Marshuan. Miss Marshuan, hello. This video is actually going to be in 2 parts. She is going to be giving you guys 30 reasons, actually not reasons, 30 things she wishes she knew before she got married the first time. When I say this video is amazing, you guys, this video is amazing. There were some points that kind of got me because I still do the same thing and I'm in marriage right now, so I had to check myself. So it was a good reminder for those that are married. For those that are not married, it's like boom, things you should bear in mind, constructive things you should bear in mind. And you guys definitely go check out her channel. I will leave all her information in the description box below. Do subscribe to her channel. She gives amazing relationship advice as well, tips, tricks, all that stuff, and she's just amazing. She's an amazing person. I've gotten to know her personally a little bit, and I'm just amazed, and I'm in love with who she is and who she's becoming and who she's going to be, who she already is, I should say, because she technically already is the greatness that she's going to be. See what I did there? Anyways, please do right by me and check her out. And I'm gonna just send you guys into the video.
I am so blessed and honored that Audrey decided to ask me to be a guest on her channel today. My name is Marshuan and my channel name is ILMEMEME, which stands for I Love Me, Me, Me. I was married before. I am a health coach, but I specialize in the health of people's relationships. My goal is actually to dramatically decrease the divorce rate. And today I'm going to be speaking to you guys about the 30 things that I wish I knew before I said I do the first time around. I wish that I would not have revealed what my deal breakers were. I wish I would have just paid attention and just watched to see versus me verbally expressing what my deal breakers were, because then my ex-husband decided to hide my top 3 deal breakers from me for a long time. It was actually a few years before they got revealed, and then we were already married. The second thing I wish I knew was what red flags were and how to look for them. See, I know that now, but as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, I had no idea what red flags were, because this is not something that we actually expressed or talked about in my family. We actually didn't talk about dating in my family at all. We didn't talk about marriage in my family at all. However, I did grow up around every single person that I knew, or at least the majority of them, the ones that I hung around all the time, my aunts, they were all married. And I was always around my family all the time. So only thing that I remember seeing was my family. So naturally, I wanted to grow up and get married. The third thing I wish I knew was how to actually go about dating. Again, this was not something that was discussed in my family. And not to throw my family under the bus, actually I will say that I spoke to my mom about this many years later, when I was already divorced and absolutely already as an adult. And I actually asked her, how come we never discuss things like this? Because I learned everything that I learned the hard way. And honestly, she just said that she couldn't give me that information because she didn't have it to give. Now, isn't that the way that we pass things down, or do not pass things down? If we don't have it, we don't pass it down to our children. And that was the classic case with me. She didn't have it. She didn't date, so she couldn't give it to me or any of her other children. The fourth thing that I really wish I knew is how to love myself and what loving myself and respecting myself looked like. See, because for a long time I actually had low self-esteem. This beautiful chocolate skin was not something that I embraced until I was an adult. I didn't embrace it for a long time. And most of you, especially you Americans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This chocolate skin was not sought after until recently, at least in women. Most men haven't had the chocolate skin. They haven't had the issue. But women with the chocolate skin, we have had the issue of not being selected for. And I was no different. And I was teased and I was called every name that you could think of in the book. And so it took me a long time to embrace this chocolate skin. Now, don't get it twisted. You can't tell me nothing now, right? Because I got my esteem, okay? Shoulders are back. You see what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing you can tell me now, but back in the day, they was probably slumped. I was probably always looking down. Like, I can't tell you now just because it's there. The esteem is there, right? This chocolate skin, ooh, okay. Don't get it twisted. Anywho, how to maintain a healthy relationship. Again, not something that we speak about. It's not something that we give directions on to our children. We need to know how to maintain a healthy relationship without all of the yelling, cussing, literally fighting or verbally fighting, dragging each other down, literally and figuratively. I didn't necessarily see any of this growing up. But when I got into my own relationship, because I didn't really know what to mirror, it didn't go well all the time. We didn't get into fist fights because that's not my thing. However, it just didn't go well. I wanted to know how to maintain a healthy relationship. The road that I traveled was the road that I was supposed to travel. However, right, in my heart of hearts, for my wish, if I controlled my life and not God, then I probably would have still been married the first time. And not necessarily to him, but I would have never been a divorcee. I'm actually the person that does a lot of compromising, but I still didn't realize how important it was. I didn't necessarily recognize that word, compromise. I didn't really recognize that's what I was doing. I just wanted things to be easy. I wanted things to be back to the way they were, which is that whole loving state, the laughter state. We always had a good time state. And so because of that, I was just like, this really is not that important to me. But I didn't necessarily know that I was compromising. Who you date is who you marry. Didn't understand that. I think earlier I actually said that he didn't reveal himself until after we got married, but that actually is kind of a slight lie, at least some of it. And what I mean by that is he revealed some of the deal breakers that I was talking about. He revealed some of them before we got married. And in my mind, like a lot of us women do, when we get married, it's going to be different. So if there's something that you don't like about your partner, and I'm not just talking about one thing. You can live with one thing. You can live with a couple things, actually. But if the list of what you think you can't live with versus what you can live with is longer, you probably need to walk away, boo. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Your mate will only change if and when your mate wants to change. I wish I would have known that. He only gonna change if he wanted to change. He didn't want to change, so he didn't. But I couldn't see that he had to want to change. I couldn't see that at the time. I wanted him to change because that's not what I wanted to live with. Even though I said I do, right? Because I was so in love with him. And things were going so great. And they went great for many years. I didn't have like a super horrible marriage. I didn't. It didn't last, but it wasn't the worst marriage out there. It actually had more good years than bad. We just didn't work out. Number 9, I wish I would have known that the relationship is absolutely going to be tested. And boy, it was tested. Just know, your relationship absolutely will be tested. Your marriage will absolutely be tested. If you talking to other people out there and they tell you, girl, we ain't never been through nothing, clearly walk away from them. They're lying. Yes, I'm putting them on blast. Yeah, they are. Because in order to get to a super happy marriage, a blissful state, y'all got to go through some changes before you get there, because you guys are two separate people trying to come together as one. And that's kind of hard because you are two individuals before you get together. This next one is actually a big one for me. It's actually number 10. I wish I would have known how important it is to respect the other person's time alone, or me time. I'm a person that always wants to be up under you. I'm a person that always wants to be touching and loving and cuddling up. And one of my love languages is quality time. So I always want to be in your presence. And he would want to do things by himself. And I would always question, well, why do you need to? And maybe not in those exact words, but it was like, what about me? How can we not hanging out? I was a bit clingy, if you will. Didn't realize how important it is to respect the person's time for me time. I need that now. I didn't know how important it was. And especially for men, it's really important for men. For us to kind of just let them go off and be men and then come back. because we drain them a lot. We drain them a lot with our emotional stuff. I didn't realize how important it was. Number 11, I wish I would have known to not use sex as a weapon. I actually did not do this much, but I still didn't realize at the time how important it is not to use sex as a weapon. I just didn't know. Again, I didn't do this often, but I did it enough for me to realize now, okay, sex is a time for you two to come together. Sex is a time where most men show you their love for you. Didn't realize how important that was. I know now, right? Had to go through something to get to where I am today. Number 12, I wish I would have understood what I actually wanted, needed, and desired from a relationship, because I really didn't know. Because I had low self-esteem, when I moved away from the house, it was a lot of men throwing themselves at me. A lot of them. I had no idea it was because I was fresh meat or fresh bait, whatever word you want to put in there. I didn't know. I just was like, wow, it's a lot of attention coming. And I didn't really handle the attention the best way. Okay, let's just say it that way. I didn't handle it the best way. And so all of it really had to do with the fact that I did not know what I wanted, needed, and desired. And I wish I would have known that. Number 13, I wish I would have not tried to force to make the relationship work, because when you're the only person that's trying to make the relationship work, it's not going to work. If it's not both of you trying to make the relationship work, it's not going to work. Hear me. Hear me. Hear me when I say this. If it's not both of y'all trying to make y'all relationship work, it ain't gonna work. Number 14, I wish I would have known that you had to add to and build your partner up in order for them to feel safe and secure with you, confident with you, that you're gonna be loyal to them. I didn't know that you necessarily had to use the words. You actually got to verbalize those things. I was supportive. You know, he would tell me something, but I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, you can do this. You got this. Of course, you always do it right. Or, you know, words of encouragement. I didn't necessarily know I needed to verbalize those things. So I didn't do it. And if I did do it, it probably was just by happenstance. It wasn't something that I intentionally did. So build them up. Give them some words of encouragement. I never realized how important religion is and how it impacts the two of you, especially if you guys are coming from two separate religions. In my first marriage, we did not come from two separate religions per se. And the reason why I say per se is because he grew up with two religions. One was Christianity, which I am, and the other one was Muslim. So he had very conflicting issues going on within him, period. He liked some of what Christianity did. He also liked some of what the Muslims did. So he had conflicting issues going on. And I didn't realize how important it was to be equally yoked. Like, we use that word a lot, but honestly, I thought that we were enough in order to see things through. And just as a side note, I'll say that religion, children, and money are the top 3 reasons why people divorce.